Hey everyone, welcome to the Voncast show. I'm gonna be here interviewing my friend Von. No, I'm kidding.
Welcome to the Voncast show. I'll keep that in. Welcome to the Voncast show. Today I got DJ Mars. How's it going, man?
It's going good. How are you?
Nice seeing you. Oh, I'm doing well, thank you. Hey, by the way, the guest, step your guest game up. This guy offered me food beforehand and a fucking drink.
I had to, man. I was hungry and I can't eat without my guest. How am I gonna eat in front of you and just have you watch me eat, right?
That's
weird.
culture.
That's pretty weird. That's pretty weird.
That is culture. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, before all the DJ stuff, I want to say congratulations on graduating.
Ooh,
We're good. Congratulations on graduating.
thank you. Is the mic picks up good?
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been a good journey, but I'm just happy to be out.
How many years?
I'm 5. I was gonna do 4, but I picked up a minor, so extended it a little bit. But I'm really happy I picked up that minor.
What was your major?
So I was business management, and then I picked up entrepreneurship as a minor.
What was it like? I ask every single person that's graduated. What was it like when you were the day of graduation? Walk me through the day of when you were walking.
This is not gonna be a good story, bro. So look, personally, maybe it's because I did the 5 years. I was over school.
Right.
This last semester, I had 3 classes. One being it's called Capstone, so it's like our last business class, right? So I met once a week with them, super easy. And then the other 2 were internship classes. Mm-hmm. So we met for each one of those like 4 times each throughout the semester. And then the rest of the time I was at my internship, right? Mm-hmm. So I was rarely ever on campus. So I kind of felt like I had already detached from campus. And then just like, the more and more I get into things that like I love and that really inspire me and things that I want to do for my career, the more and more that things like school just became less interesting to me, right? So I was over it. So I was the day of my graduation, I was supposed to be on campus. I think we graduated like at 11 a.m. Like that's the time like we walked and everything, right? We're supposed to meet there like at 8:30 or something. I woke up like at 10:45, right? And I was like, oh snap, I graduate today. I had like 20 missed calls from a bunch of my mom, like my friends, like my friend Dana, she was doing like, she customized my cap with like a vinyl on top and like it said Mars. So she had my cap. She's like, yo, where you at? Like, I gotta give you this cap. We're not sitting together. Like, she's a different major, right? So I was like, all right, well, I was like, whatever. Well, I gotta get my morning routine in, right? So I still took my time. Like, I showered, like, worked out a little bit, just kind of got my heart rate up and whatnot. And then I finally got there, right? I thought I was gonna have trouble like getting in, but the whole thing was a mess because it even got pushed back to a later time because like it was raining.
Sunday.
Yes. So I was a Sunday people, right? Okay. So there was the whole thing where it was raining and they were actually thinking of canceling it, like, or even like doing it to a whole other day.
Oh wow.
So it was already a mess, super unorganized. So when I walked in, they're like, hey, just go and sit wherever. And I had like a bunch of my buddies, because like especially a lot of my fraternity brothers are business students, so I know a lot of people in the department, so they were saving me a spot to sit at.
Right.
So I just sat with them, and it was crazy. I don't know if you heard, but they told us because it was raining and just some trouble they were having, we weren't gonna walk. They were just gonna say, congrats everyone,
really?
Go home, right? And I guess personally I didn't care that much. I was just ready to kind of move on, right? I was kind of just doing this for my mom. I kind of told my mom a few times, like, do I really have to walk? Like, I don't care too much for the diploma. Like, you know, I kept telling her, like, I'll care, like, when, like, you should care when I can buy you that house, right? Like, this is just a paper to me. Even though, yes, it is an accomplishment, I don't mean to downgrade it. I'm just so ready to move forward. And like, and I wasn't too, I didn't care too much about the diploma anymore, as I did maybe like 2 years ago or whatnot. So, you know, eventually they let us walk, and you know, my mom was very happy and want to eat, and it's been good. It's been a big relief to be out.
Good. Mm-hmm. You know, I think a lot of times, are you only child?
I'm not.
Are you the eldest?
I am the eldest.
Were you the first to graduate in your family?
I am the first to graduate.
That's why it's so important for your mom. Same with me.
Yeah.
Family. My dad flew from NorCal. I think a lot of times we get disillusioned, jaded, man, fuck school, is when we get over with it. I was like, man, whatever. How like awesome can it be? When I was there, I knew my family was standing by the stands.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they sacrificed for. You know, like I'm pretty sure I come from an immigrant family. I know
Right.
my family sacrificed. This is something they were going to college, but they sacrificed that because I was going.
Right.
So to see that, see me do it after all the years it took, it's something, man. Like I look back, it's not just me, it's about me, it's about that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I think it's crazy that you talk about the whole immigrant thing, because that's played a big part of who I am.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but I wasn't born here. I was born in El Salvador.
Me neither. Philippines.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't either.
Wow.
Cool. How old were you?
7 when I came here.
Cool. So you were actually a little older. I was 4. So
Okay.
to me, I had maybe a little bit of culture shock, but I mean, LA's my home. You know what I mean? Anyways, yeah, the whole immigrant thing is crazy, and to be the first, you're right. This is what they sacrificed for. It was very dangerous over there. A lot of things were happening in my family where they were like, we got to get out, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, it is. I think from that perspective, it's super important that I walked and that they saw that, because that is a big part of what they do this for. I think for me, I just have my dreams. I think are just so big
of course.
that this is just kind of like, well, I mean,
oh yeah,
right, like be happy when like I said, I can buy my mom that house, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not discounting your experience. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. It's
Right.
But overall, it's like,
Yeah, it is important, absolutely.
Bigger. Let's take it back, man. For all this, dude. So you grew up in LA.
I did grow up in LA, South Central.
South Central. Talk to us about growing up in South Central. I mean, you hear like Boys in the Hood, all these stereotypes, but I'm sure it's not always like that. I mean, you're kind of like, that's a stereotype, right?
It is and it's not. I don't know. I feel like I didn't have the normal South Central experience, because from like kinder through 5th grade, I went to like my local public school, which was 2 streets from my house. I met everybody that lived around me, so that was that. But then after that, my mom put me in like a private school that was also in South Central. But I think I heard Kendrick say this in an interview where he says like his mom had him so young that it was like he and his mom were growing together, right? It wasn't like this older figure. Like I'm sure that was part of it, but it wasn't like this older figure just led him completely through life. Like they were both so learning together because she was so young when she had him, right? And this was the age wasn't an aspect in my life, but for my family and I to move here and to learn about LA and like live in LA and grow in LA, like I think that's how I relate to that, because I was growing in LA at the same time as my parents, because it was new to all of us, right? So my mom was very, very protective of me, and especially because she knew we weren't in the best area.
Right.
So she wouldn't really let me go out too much as a kid. And if I did go out, she'd have to meet the parents. We wouldn't be able to go out in the streets, like only if you're there and their parents are there. And like I remember sometimes I'd be like, whatever, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'd go to like just go to the store or something, or like literally just ride my bike somewhere, and my mom would get pretty mad, you know what I mean? So I always respected her. So, and then when I went to high school, I went to a school called Cathedral High School, which is like Chinatown and like downtown LA, so it's like away from South Central. And a lot of the people that I met there were not from South Central. So that's where I say that I had a kind of a different experience, because high school was when I started being able to go out more, right? But at that point, I was like hanging out in like Glendale and Silver Lake, sometimes in South Central, but I wouldn't really hang out around my area. Yeah. So it's this weird thing of like being from somewhere, but almost feeling like I'm not from there. Obviously, technically, I'm not from South Central, like I'm from El Salvador, right? And then like also like not really knowing too many people around me unless I went to school with them, and then not even hanging around in the area, you know what I mean? So I think when you talk about the stereotypes, yeah, there is definitely some of that. Like I've gotten jumped before, like I've gotten my shit stolen, you know what I mean? Like I've been through a little bit of that, but it's not to the point where like I also live next to like the cop station in South Central.
Okay.
So I can walk around and I go for jogs over there, you know what I mean, when I'm at my parents' house. And it's never been to the point where I'm scared to walk in my like in my neighborhood. You know, there's some stuff that has happened, like little shootings here and there, but nothing really where I've feared for my life.
Right.
Like other people have that I know, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's those two where like there's the whole thing in the 90s when like the riots happened and everything. There's like everything, right? Even when like Tupac got shot, like all that stuff, like all those times from what I hear are crazy, but I think it's progressed a lot, you know? I think visually, like there's a lot that can be done. There's just like a lot of graffiti everywhere. There's like a lot of like abandoned buildings, and there's obviously a lot of poverty there.
Right.
But aside from that, like I think the place is progressing a lot, you know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
It's good. So I think high school, I know you as DJ. When did you like get into music or DJ in general? Was that always something you wanted to do, or?
No, it wasn't. I always wanted to like be like a math teacher or something.
Really?
Yeah.
You're good at math.
I think I'm good at it. I don't know. I thought I was good at it. Then I took all these crazy math school like classes and like calculus in like college, and I was like, yeah, maybe not, you know. But I like math a lot. Like all the stuff I learned in high school and everything. But I think with music, I was always interested in it. I just didn't know I was interested in it. Coming, you know, I don't think I have that like that traditional story of like my parents playing all this cool music that I really liked and stuff. Like they would play cumbias, you know what I mean? They would play merengue.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they would play all the stuff that they like to dance to and all that, which was cool, but I never really liked it like that. Right. You know what I mean? So, but what always interested me was I saw the impact that it had on people, and I saw how people would change and how people would act and like how it would change their mood and all that, right? So that it started getting me interested in it. So I remember I get to middle school, I had no knowledge of music. Like I knew like, what did I know? I knew like just the corny songs, like the corny like, what was the name? Like Laffy Taffy, and like I knew stuff like that. Like
okay.
No.
And looking back, that's what started everything that it is now. Laffy Taffy, Soldier Boy.
Right, I knew stuff like that, right?
That's cool.
But I didn't really know, like I didn't really have a good like, or at least what I like to think, like a good knowing of like the history, right?
Right.
And I remember I got to middle school and I'm like, yo man, I told a friend of mine who I'm still pretty cool with, and I was just like, put me onto some music, like what do you like? And I remember he was like, I like Chris Brown, Wall to Wall, right? And then so I watched the music video, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Got into a little bit more of his stuff, and then I just started getting more and more into like music. And I remember like that's when I think I really started liking music. And then my friend at that time, my best friend at that time played guitar. And I remember he's like, yeah, man, I play guitar. And I just really wanted to fit in because this is a private middle school. So right there is K through 8th, right? So even though I went in through middle school and most people, it's like a new thing to them, I was still the new kid, right? Everybody knew each other from kinder. And there was maybe like 3-4 of us that were new. So I was like just trying to fit in, and I was like, oh, you play guitar? Yeah, man, I play too. Like I bring my guitar tomorrow. And I go home and I'm like, Dad, I need a guitar. Like, you know what I mean? And then like, obviously didn't bring a guitar the next day. And then I think we took a trip to Vegas. And have you ever seen those games where like you throw like a ball at like the little bowling pins, and then like if you win, you get like this really cheap guitar. So he knew I wanted one, so he won one for me, and that was my first guitar, right? This little cheap thing, right? And I show up the next day like, yeah, man, look what I got like over the weekend or whatever, right? Not knowing how to play it. And just kind of trying to keep up with him and be cool, right? And so I started getting into the guitar. I met this really cool guy, Mr. Kobian, who helped me out a lot. Like he started giving me a few lessons and showing me how to play, and it was pretty cool. We started playing for church on every other week, me and my friend, right? And that was just so cool to me, you know what I mean? And so that's when I kind of started really getting into it, but never that I think it was kind of turned into something that I actually wanted to do like as a career, right? And then the DJing stuff came later.
Nice. So how did you go from doing that to I'm gonna DJ? You didn't want to rap, or you didn't want to like make beats?
Oh no, man! Rapping, I was so shy as a kid. I mean, I think I still am very like I could be pretty introverted. I think I've just learned how to manage it to the point where like yeah, I need those downtimes where I'm by myself and you know meditate or work out by myself and all that, and I have all that like just like my me time, and then you know when I talk to you and I talk to a bunch of friends or when I DJ a bunch of people, then that's my time to bring that like social part out of me, you know what I mean? But I was super shy, so rapping was never like an option for me. It was never an option. Producing, I never had access. Not that I didn't have access to it, but I just never had something that introduced me to it. Right. DJing, my dad's a DJ.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I thought you knew that.
I think you might have said it a while back, but tell me the story.
So he's been DJing since maybe like 15 years old over in El Salvador.
Wow.
I guess he just liked music as much as I did. Him and his brothers and like some friends started a group over there. They didn't speak English, so they didn't know the name of what they named their group, but they were named Black Power Entertainment, right? But they didn't know what that meant, but they were Black Power Entertainment, right? That's really weird to me, but so he's a DJ, but my dad, like, he plays like a lot of the Latin music and everything is cool, but he's not like a technical guy. Like he doesn't like scratch, He doesn't do any of that. He just likes, you know, playing for the crowd and making people dance.
Right.
And growing up, like he would take me to gigs with him. All right, hey, help me set up. Hey, help me set up. Help me set up. And I would hate it, like carrying these boxes, these cables. Why am I putting these lights up? And then, damn, now I gotta watch you DJ for 6 hours to music I don't even like. Put my headphones on and just sit in the corner, right?
Right.
I just never liked it. And at the time, he wasn't able to have turntables, which is a big part of why I didn't like it. One day we went over to his co-worker's house, who owned turntables and a mixer, and he goes by the name DJ Efresh. So even though my dad's a DJ, I give a lot of thanks to DJ Efresh, who really sparked that light in me. Because I go over to his place, and he has this little like studio in his house, right? And he has it set up, and I'm just looking at it like, what? This looks cool. I'd never seen any turntables before. And because my dad had used turntables in Rio Vinyl and everything, but they were just left in El Salvador when we moved here. So then I'm just like, what's this, right? And he was like, let me show you, right? So he hops on and he starts like scratching, he starts doing beat juggling, he starts doing all this crazy like technical stuff, and I'm like, it was crazy. And I was 14 at the time, graduating from 8th grade. I fell in love like that. It was like crazy. Like I just fell in love, and I was like, I have to learn this.
Right.
And I was just lucky enough that my dad had actually, like, I guess a day before that, and it's weird the way it works, but the day before that, he had ordered 2 turntables to come to the house from Guitar Center. So like a week after that, we got turntables that were my dad's, but they basically became mine.
That's awesome.
Right? Because I was just the one who had the time to be at home and doing all this and whatever, and I didn't know what I was doing. But I was just playing music, right? And then I remember like 2 months later, I went over and he didn't know that I had like actually been interested, because a lot of people say, you know, a lot of people tell me, and like I've had this conversation with him where a lot of people tell him like, yeah, I want to DJ. And him and I are always both like, I'll show you, just let me know, right? But people don't actually put the time, right? So he didn't think I was actually serious, and I went back and he was just like, oh, you've been practicing some cool, show me what you got. And I'm like, all right, play this song. And then play this song, and I just kind of like switch the volume, right? Sounds horrible, like a horrible mix. I'm like, that's cool, right? And he was like, no, let me show you, right? So he showed me a little bit of how to beat match, and I like went home for like 3 months, just practiced how to beat match. Cool. Went back, he's like, you know how to scratch? And I'm like, no. So then he like showed me a few things, like this, and like this is something where he showed me for maybe 20-30 minutes, right? But it was like me going home and practicing for months, and like this obsession and this like passion that I had to just like scratching. I came back and he's like, all right, this is how you can make it a little better, right? So he kind of coached me a little bit. for like a few months. Like it wasn't anything serious, you know what I mean? Where like he was actually like holding my hand.
Yeah.
It was just it was a little bit of feedback, right? And then so it was through him that I learned a little bit of the technical stuff, and it was through my dad I learned like a lot of the basics, like how to control volume, how to set up, like how to set up your lights, how to set up like video if you want to do that, and so on. And then you know I would still go with my dad to the parties, and then sometimes he'd let me spin a little bit of like the English music when it was time for that. So that kind of gave me a bit of foundation. So that's how that started.
That is really cool that you share that bond with your dad. Usually,
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know. Usually learn that from like friends or something.
Yeah.
It's cool that you create that bond. Oh, both of y'all can DJ.
So I will say this: it's a bond.
Yeah.
We've had countless arguments. Countless.
Really?
Yeah, like because we're like when we do a gig together, we're working together, right? And we're obviously comfortable enough with each other to be honest with each other. And if he wants to do a thing a certain way, and I'm like, no, like this, it looks better like this, or it sounds better like this, and you know, we just clash all the time. So it got to a point where we couldn't even do gigs together. Like,
right, it's not.
Right.
It's wrong.
Right, but yeah, it is a dope bond that we have.
Yeah. So around this time, I assume you're about in college. Like you go to CSUN or not yet?
Well, right. So I started at 14.
Right.
DJ at home. I was like, maybe it was like imposter syndrome, right? But I didn't think I was a DJ.
Really?
Like, yeah, like even though I was getting good, and I would see other people DJ at like my high school, and I'd be like, I'm better than this person, right? Like maybe like a little bit of cockiness in my head or whatever, but like I was like, this person might even like beat matching correct, like right, so like mixing correctly, right, or like this scratch sounds really bad or right, whatever, right? But I would hear that as a DJ, right? But it was this thing of like, again, I was very shy. So this thing of like, I never thought I would actually do it in front of people.
Yeah.
And I think that's crazy. I think it's like, I did it, in my head it was backwards, because a lot of people, I think, start DJing to DJ in front of people. I just started DJing just to DJ for me. You know
That's interesting. I mean? Yeah, usually it's the other way around. I want to impress the crowd. I want to.
Yeah, I never thought of the crowd ever, and like I DJed for like 3 years without telling anybody. Nobody knew, like nobody except like my parents. And then one day I was in the soccer team in high school, and we're gonna have a fundraiser. And my dad was like talking to the coach, like, "You guys got music?" And he was like, "No, I'm trying to figure that out. Like maybe we would have a speaker." He's like, "Well, my son's a DJ," and I'm like, "Yo, like, chill out, man, chill out." Like, no. And they were like, "You are," and I'm like, "Whoa." Whatever, right? And he was like, "All right, cool, you do it, you got it." You know what I mean? It was kind of my first time, and like everybody was like, "What? You're a DJ?" Like, I'm like, "I guess so." What's your name? DJ Oscar. I don't know.
How'd you get Mars?
Oh God, I hate this question. Well, I'll tell you. So maybe just like I do now.
Yeah.
Well, hair's always been very important to me. I love like different hairstyles and everything. I had like a bit of like a pompadour back in high school, and whatever, and everybody just thought I looked like Bruno Mars.
Oh, that's what it is. I can see it.
That's just mad corny, bro. That's just mad corny. People still tell me that today.
I don't see it.
People still tell me I look like Bruno Mars.
I don't see it now.
But like, so I guess even like my barber at the time, like he didn't know my actual name. Like, "Hey, what up, Bruno? Like, how you doing, Bruno?" Like some people didn't know like my name was Oscar. You know, "Bruno, what up?" Like outside of high school, at high school everybody knew my name was Oscar. But people just kind of started like, and then like I remember I made an Instagram back in like, I don't know, like 2013 or something. And then I didn't know what to put as a username. I'm like, right, I don't know. So my friend just grabbed my phone and put Oscar Mars. I was like, all right, well, whatever, that sounds cool. And then like people started calling me Oscar Mars. So by this time, it's like the last 2 years of college, people, like especially my senior year, people started knowing that I was a DJ. I was DJing gigs like at the mall and stuff. Like I did a lot of stuff for like Echo Unlimited.
High school?
Yeah, this was high school.
Echo Unlimited?
Yeah, I was doing a lot of stuff. Yeah, that was my first like, oh shit, like this is cool. Like I'm DJing in front of like a bunch of cool people. A bunch of people are coming up to me, asking me for cards, asking me what I would price them to DJ there.
Damn,
or like whatever, because I would be at the Glendale Galleria or at the Citadel outlets, right? And it's crazy because E-Fresh hooked me up with that, and it was just because he didn't have time, and because they didn't pay money, they paid in clothes.
Ooh,
which
was fire. I mean, when I'm growing up.
By that time, it was I feel like by 2013, 14, it was already like washed.
It was, yeah. I was fucking with it when I was.
All respects to Echo.
All respects to Mark Echo. I mean, he sold the company, I believe.
Oh, really?
I'm not. I think no. He's so complex.
Well, the two places that I used to spend at aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
So.
I like Echo in early 2000s. That's how it shows how.
Right, but early 2000s. This was like 2013.
Oh
By
man.
this time, it was like those big prints were like out of style.
He had the cut and sew line.
Like at that, right? Well, and that's where I started first, the cut and sew line. So Mark Echo cut and sew, and then after I did which was cool. Some of the stuff was kind of cool, but it still wasn't exactly what I loved.
Yeah.
But you know, I would pick out like out of the bunch, maybe like 15% of their stuff or whatever. But this was the thing. It was every time I played, I would play maybe like 4 hours, and they would pay me $250 in clothes.
Oh, $250 in clothes.
Right. So it was cool the first few weeks.
Yeah.
Man, I'm fresh. I like all these clothes, like whatever, blah blah. You know, getting the stuff I like, not the big print stuff, like and it was the cut and sew stuff. So it was like button-up shirts, and more fitted. So which was a little bit, I think, the clothes I liked more at that time. And so at first, like I said, at first it was cool. I was just like, had a bunch of clothes, right? A bunch of new clothes. 3 months in, I'm like, yo, like there's no more for me to get. I have like 3 of everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. You don't get so much.
Well, yeah, but that's all they would pay me. So I would just keep getting it, and I'd be like, all right. So then what I started doing, when I started slanging it to the homies.
Smart.
Yeah, and I started being like, yo, like, you want some clothes? I got you. What size are you? And I'd be like, I'd have the homies like pull up to my place and like to hang out, right? But be like, yo, so, hey, there's a bunch of stuff here. Let me know if you want anything, right? And then be like, oh, this is tight. Oh, cool, you got $10. You got $15. You know what I mean? Like, doing that a little bit. So I did that for a little bit, and like, at the end of the day, it was a hookup. They're getting like something that at the, like pants at the stores that would be like $60 or $80, and I'd give it to them for like 15. So it was a hookup, and you know, helped me out. I think after a while they kind of started catching on. Mm-hmm. So then like I had to kind of slow it down a little bit. And like, I still did it. Like I still kind of did it, but whatever. I don't know. It was cool though. But yeah, it was a lot of clothes.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
Man. So we're transitioning. So this was end of high school.
Yep.
Why did you go to CSUN? What made you want to go?
Shit. Why did I go to CSUN? Money.
Yeah.
Money. I don't think CSUN, and I think CSUN knows this, you know, I don't think CSUN is the first option for anybody. Right? I mean, was it your first option?
No, I went to CSUN because that's the only place that accepted me.
Right. I wanted to go to San Francisco. I was set on San Francisco State. Like, because I have family up there, and we would go like 2 to 3 times a year, and I just loved the city. Like, San Francisco is beautiful, you know? Expensive, but beautiful. And I just was set on San Francisco, and, you know, we're going, and like, I just got to a point where my mom was like, I can't afford for you to live up there. Yeah. And I was like, so I kind of took that in. I was like, all right, cool. Like, I understand. And I came to CSUN. And then a whole other money situation happened where like, where I had the dorms like set, and we were like 3 days away moving into the dorms. Mm-hmm. I'm expecting to get some type of financial aid, and CSUN's like, you're getting $0. And I'm like, what? And like that shit was like heartbreaking, because I was like it wasn't even just $0 for like living, for housing. It was like 0 for tuition. Damn. So like my like we had to pay for everything. That day that they told me, I thought I wasn't going to school. Like I was like, I guess I'm gonna take this year off and just work and save up to like pay. Luckily my mom and my grandma and my dad. Well, I haven't talked about my dad a lot, but he, right? No. I mean, he's in the picture. I just haven't talked about it.
Right.
That's the homie, right? Yeah. But like, my mom and my grandma like hustled, and obviously my dad too, to like get money together and pay for my first year. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was pretty tough. I actually cried that day because I thought I was going to college. You know what I mean? And then, but I want to see some because of that. I went in and I was like, whatever, it's cool. I'll stay in LA. I like LA. You know what I mean? Like, I know CSUN is like the Valley isn't technically, it's LA County, but I know it's not considered LA, but it's still obviously close enough into LA for me to drive over and whatnot. Yeah. Like, I'll stay here, but I think looking back now, I think it's one of the best things that happened to me.
Same. My grandma lives down the street from CSUN. I'm from NorCal. I visited my grandma all the time in LA.
Do you live with her right now?
No, I live, no. but she lives like nearby where I live.
Right.
But I've been.
From where I picked you up right now?
Yeah. I've been living in NorCal till I was like 18. From 7 to 18, I came here, and during that time, my parents were divorced, so I'd always come here. Always see CSUN over the years, and that was when I was like, let me just go to CSUN. Let me just apply. And I applied. I didn't care. I was like, fuck. I got to a college, like a state college.
Right.
I applied to Riverside, Irvine, UCLA, Berkeley. It was a joke, but just check it out. And I was like, fuck. And you know what?
You said it was a joke.
I was like, why am I spending extra $15? Like, I guess my parents happy to see I tried.
Yep.
That shit. But you know, like, people, including myself, at one point showing CSUN's like a whatever school, but it's what you make of it, right?
Absolutely.
It's
everything's what you make of it.
I mean, damn, like, I'll say this. It really upgraded to what it was to what it is now. I mean, like,
what is that? What do you mean?
I mean, I came in there, it was 2006.
Uh-huh.
There was no USU. A lot different.
Oh,
It was a lot different. There was no.
Oh, you're saying the school's a lot more upgraded now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That, the programs. Big Show, it was still cracking back then. There was Common back then.
Big Show.
Common was there. You have a Big Show story? You have a Big Show story.
I thought Big Show was lame.
You know what? I stopped going.
I feel like people really try to make it like this big rave.
Okay.
Like, and I'm like, bro. Like,
I'll say this.
This is on campus.
When I first came, the first time I was there, the first Big Show, when I was there, Common was playing.
Right.
Jurassic 5.
Oh.
Yeah, ludicrous.
Right.
Before Common, Taking Back Sunday. They had to stop, like, no more rock shows because everybody from fucking LA came.
Oh, okay.
And they got intense, like mosh pits and stuff. So okay, we gotta chill.
And it was because of the bands, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Because like that kind of crowd, it's not violent, but it incites that kind of shit.
Right.
Now I'm like, I mean, you know, I like to say the raves now. It's like if you can't go to a rave, this is your entry rave. You know. Like the Big Show, like
right.
Dylan Francis, that's cool. Like, you know, I mean, it's a day rave, right? It's different. So, you know, if your parents are strict and they won't let you go out, which is great, your thing, you can go out and pretend I'm just going like a day thing, partying.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm just jealous because every time that Big Show happened, I had a gig, so I wasn't able to go. But yeah, to me, it was just kind of like, this is on campus, like. Let's go to an actual thing, you know. But I mean, I'm sure it was cool.
It was cool.
I went to the first Big Show, I think.
Who was playing?
I don't even remember, dude. It was like freshman year. I just know Just Incredible was playing, and like the Power 106 guys, and that to me was like really cool as a DJ, listening to these guys on the radio and seeing them play or whatever. That was really cool, but I don't remember who was headlining.
Grab back, I'm gonna blow my nose.
Do your thing, man. Do your thing.
We can keep playing.
You want some water?
No, I'm cool. I just gotta blow my nose.
All right.
That's cool. Hands. So, we were talking about the Big Show. Did you go to that one? What were those events? Matador Nights? Did you go to those?
I went to one.
Went to one?
And then I tried to make it to the second one, but the pregame took too long.
Yeah.
So by the time we're gonna go, everybody was coming back. So.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. Like, I mean, I think it's great if like for freshmen, right?
Freshmen is like,
it's like whoa, like let's get fucked up. Let's go out. It's right into the dorms.
Mm-hmm.
We don't gotta go to Hollywood. We don't gotta go to LA.
But I think it's just by the time that I had the chance to go and I didn't have a gig. It was like my 4th year, so I was like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, did you join the Hip Hop Culture Club freshman year?
Changed my life forever.
Let's talk about it, because I've had different guests here. We forgot about talk about the CSUN Hip Hop Culture Club. Was that freshman year?
I feel like it's a topic we have to talk about.
We gotta talk about it.
That was such a big part of like
Agreed.
my life, you know,
Same.
and like the positions I held and everything.
Yeah, bro. So this was when you were freshman year, right?
Yeah, my 2nd semester freshman year.
I remember that.
I think things happened at like a perfect time, you know.
Yeah.
I remember I was going through a lot that 2nd year. Like I was going through like a lot of depression.
Yeah.
And I just remember I was having like a horrible day, man. Like I don't know what it was. Like I was just not feeling it. And I was just like anxious and just whatever, right? And I went to the restroom, and I was just like, and I was just in the restroom, and I was just like taking a breather. And I'm like kind of telling myself like, yo, like I know this is a shitty situation you're in, but you know, get through it. You know, get through it or whatever. Kind of pep talking myself, right? And I went out, and I remember I was waiting for my girlfriend at that time to like get out of class so we can like go to her dorm or something. And then like I'm there, and I see like the tents with like Meet the Clubs, and I'm like, let me go check this out, right? And in the corner, it's like just some dudes bumping like just like straight up like old school hip hop, and I'm like, what is this? Who the hell are these three guys? There's literally nothing on their table, but just like it was like a table, like no cover, no flyers, like just I think there was a flyer actually, like a little
have a flyer, basic ass black and white flyer.
yeah. And then like I'll cut like it's like one of those things where you put like 4 in one thing, and then like and then you cut it, but it was like cut like super like it was literally like this was their flyer, like, you know, and everyone had a different shape, and they were like handing it out, but they weren't even saying. You guys, were you there? When,
I don't know.
I know Akeem was there.
What year was this? 2015?
2015, January. No, February.
I wasn't there for the Meet the Club, but I was there for one of the meetings.
Right. So, I remember, who was there, man? I don't know.
Dantana.
Josh? Yeah, maybe Dantana. So, Dantana. No, not Tim. Not at the Meet the Club. Oh, I'm talking about that specific day, so, right? So Dantana, I'm pretty sure it was Josh. And then I think it was Akeem. Shout out Lorison. And I just go up and I'm like, what's up? Why are you guys playing this music? Like, you know what I mean? Like I literally never heard this outside of my earphones. Like I've never heard somebody playing Jurassic 5, like bumping it, right? Because I don't know, everybody's playing like what's on the radio, right? And I used to hate the radio. Yeah. And I was just, and they're like, oh, we're Hip Hop Culture Club, blah, 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 blah. We like to talk about the history. We're all creatives. And I'm like, that's cool. And then like started going to the meetings and met everybody. And it was like meeting people, I think like Tim and just all these creatives. I think it was cool to meet Tim because it was cool to see somebody who was a little older than me take his career so seriously, move from Sacramento, right?
Yes.
Yeah, from Sacramento to LA to make his dreams come true and be in that hustle and like the certain opportunities he had created for himself. And I was just like, I'm talking to this guy right now. Obviously he's not famous, he's not a superstar, but like I said, like through hustle and like some dedication, he was able to create some opportunities for himself. And I'm like, I'm not that far from it, you know what I mean? Like, and I think seeing them hustle and seeing like their passion, I had never seen other people's passion like towards music like that. I had seen it a lot towards sports, like in high school, but never towards music. And I would see like people in high school would like soccer players would like randomly get on a mic and rap and drop it on SoundCloud, right? But not like actual like really passion into it and like, yo, I'm just doing this for myself type of thing, you know? And that's what I love. Like I think that if you're gonna do something for the rest of your life, like you have to be okay with just doing it for yourself. Like right, it can't always be about the fame or whatever. Like that stuff, like it's real quick. About it. Yeah, you know. But I think seeing them and seeing their passion made it be like, oh, like this is cool. Like this is something that I can actually connect with, and it opened up, I think, a layer of me of like. It started making me realize how passionate I was about music and about DJing and whatever, and how I had never had that group of people before that I can just be a geek about with like music, you know what I mean? Music that wasn't very popular, music, whatever. Right?
Yeah. For me, I've been rapping for like 2002, 2003.
Damn.
Prior to that, I haven't dropped. My last single I dropped before summertime was like 2007, 2014, I didn't drop anything. I started doing open mics, but going to Hip Hop Culture Club, they reinvigorated my want to make music again.
Right.
Like you said, I was around people that were similar minded.
Yep.
They wanted to make music, beats. They're very supportive. And I remember I recorded "Summertime" in Akeem's room. He made the beat and everything. But pretty much resurrected my quote-unquote hip-hop career.
Wow.
You know, being around people, we did the mixers and everything. Mm-hmm. That was cool, man. And I really think Tim Josh, everybody in that club, man.
Absolutely.
Ash, I believe, is one of the founders.
I don't think I know Ash.
Yeah. You know, he's one of the older dudes. One of the founders. Him and Tim are the founders. But
right.
Without them, man, I don't know.
I think for me, it just allowed me to think about this as a possibility.
Yeah.
Before it was just like, yeah, I play music, but whatever, right? Like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do for my career then, right? And I came in, and like I said earlier, I liked math, right? So I came in and I was like, well, I like math, and my mom's an accountant. I was like, I like business. I'll be an accountant. I'm sure I'll be good at it. And so I like DJing and music was just never like ever like an idea that, you know, crossed my mind like that. And I mean, well, I'll say the first accounting class I took, I automatically switched my major because I'm like, I'm not doing accounting.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy, but it was just more so like, I just don't see myself in an office for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know, it was more so that than like how tough it was.
Right.
Because it's not like the music stuff is easy, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, you know, it really allowed me to be like, this is something that might actually like be happening, you know, and you know, started getting more and more into it.
So we went from members. You were a president at one time, right?
I was for like
Semester?
no, it was a while. It was like a year and a half at least. It was for sure like a year and a half, and that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough, man. Like, I mean, at a certain point you got to pass the torch. I mean, you know, when we first came into it, we were super, like, really into it. But over time, you know, you become like get older, more priority school-wise.
Yep.
You got to pass the torch. And, you know, I think we ran it to the best we could. We produced not we produce in general, but like that spawned a lot of creative individuals.
Yeah.
I think the people who were in our time, they're doing shit right now.
Yeah, it's crazy because like to think of the network that you and I have through that, and like the group of like all the mutual friends that we have, it's crazy how many creatives we know. You know what I mean? It's like I was just thinking about this like when I was getting ready. Like I was just like, we have a crap load of similar friends. And I get to hang out.
It's okay. Hi, Alex.
Shout out, Alex.
Hey,
he was trying to be quiet.
Sound effects.
Hey,
it's all good.
You gotta pop in the camera in a bit.
Yeah.
So don't go to your room before until you pop in the camera.
Up to you, whatever you're comfortable with.
No, I'm gonna make him do it.
But we have very similar friends. I mean, I think in general we just have different times and different things. We don't all hang out as much.
No, yeah.
But it's normal. But yeah, man, it's interesting.
I'm gonna be loud.
It's okay. Because, I mean, everyone's doing stuff, man. I mean,
shut the hell up.
Dude, you got what?
I can pop in. My character be introduced.
Alright, you know what? Just pop in.
Say what I want.
Mr. Instagram Filter himself.
What's up?
Mr. Instagram Filter himself.
Wait, what's the more space? Yeah, I got it.
So this is Alex.
What's up?
One of my roommates.
Actually, you're also on the podcast episode something.
Yeah.
A while back.
I was on.
Which one?
It was a while back.
Oh, wow.
It was dope.
Who was that? Who's the person? Wait, did you interview?
Yeah.
Yes, you've been interviewed by her. I forgot about that.
A year ago or so.
Yeah. Actually, y'all were clowning each other in the comments. No, that was Quinn. You were clowning Quinn.
No, like I'm sure I commented on his thing. I just forgot.
I got 2 thumbs down on my video.
Who the fuck?
Whoever did that,
Y'all
y'all can
haters.
suck my ass.
Whoa.
No.
Y'all haters.
Demonetized.
Yeah, he just demonetized us.
It's okay. Yeah, you know, so.
Hold on, I want to talk about Alex a little bit. Shout out to this guy over here. Just got back from a trip from where?
I'm trying to go.
Prague?
I just got back from Europe.
Prague,
It's crazy.
Prague?
Yeah.
Who's
I went
Prague?
to Prague, and then I went to Germany, and then I went to London.
Tell us about that.
Any inspiration?
Inspiration? They got some cool shit out in Europe, but I didn't like it as much as I like being here. That's weird. I don't know. Seemed like a cool place to visit for me. I kind of like the U.S. Sadly, I don't know. I have an iffy relationship with this country, but I decided to realize I kind of like it here. There's a lot of freedom to do whatever you want out here. I noticed that Europe is a little more artsy.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like the education system, like doing random stuff. Like the reason why the government takes a lot of advantage of us in random situations is because they give us opportunity to move freely within the system a lot differently than you can in Europe. And I realized that was kind of cool. And I also don't like having to pay for free water.
You gotta pay for water?
Whoa.
They don't give you you have to be like,
Where's my jug at?
Let me get tap water.
What about tap?
No, you gotta ask them, can I get some tap water? And then half the time it's like, no, I just have to pay for the water bottle.
My goodness.
Like you have to buy the bottle. And they charge you for the bathrooms. Depends on
What?
In Prague, they were like 20 corona for whatever the
Well, how much is that in here?
currency. It's
Like a quarter or
Yeah,
something?
it's like a little bit. But the fact that I was like, I'm cheap. I'm not trying to give them that 20. I said, oh no.
You know, my friend went to Europe. She said there's not a lot of public restrooms.
Nope.
Where
They
do
will charge you
where do
everywhere.
go?
You go find a corner because those motherfuckers gonna charge you in every place.
What if you can't find it? What if you got to do the extra?
And then you better go into the restaurant and say, I'll buy a water, and then use the bathroom. Like,
That's, you know.
Have you guys heard about that app that it like rates you? It's like Yelp, but for restrooms. So then like you could be in downtown LA, like what's the best restroom around me? What's the cleanest restroom? And like people rate it, and then you can go to that toilet.
damn, I hate to work at that place. I'd be like, damn, we're really on this.
Yeah.
And everyone's walking in the store, just walking through.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I'd just be like, dope, but you gotta buy water or you gotta whatever, right? And just make money off of it. Make money off my clean restroom.
Buy my mixtape.
Yeah.
Or use the bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, I met you through Hip Hop Culture Club in a very indirect way. Because our roommates, I mean, Quentin was supposed to be.
Nah. Quentin.
He was a DJ.
But it was like you, Gabe,
Gabe.
Akeem, Quinn.
Yeah.
Like almost everyone that I'm around. And Jock as well. You guys are
Jock
all
was in it.
Yeah.
Shout out Jock.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I was trying to find pictures to roast you guys on because whenever you went to my Facebook and you posted some of the pictures, I was like, well, I'm gonna get your
Oh, I deleted all that
Yeah.
stuff. I used to be ugly. I mean, I might still be ugly, but I used to be uglier. You know?
Oh,
You got a cool fade going, man.
Yeah, I went through those and I realized after going through everyone's pictures, I was like, you guys are all part of the same club at Seaside. And I was like, damn. I almost joined that club when I came to Seaside.
Did you really?
Yeah, on my first day.
You should have.
My first day, I was going through the club thing. I didn't really know many people. I saw Hip Hop Culture Club, and then it was actually Gabe was there behind the thing. I just didn't know him at the time.
Oh god.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, I'm kind of down to join. Like, I do photography and stuff, but I wasn't like really doing it. You know, people say they're doing art, but they're not really doing art.
Yep.
Yeah, I was at that stage before I actually got pushed, and I was like, sweet.
It's
Like,
crazy.
this is,
We
like,
just
cool.
talked about how I was at that stage where I was like, yeah.
I want to shout out Mr. Master.
Shout out Mr.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Master.
it in a minute.
Shout
Hope
out
you doing
Mr.
well, brother.
Master.
Yep.
San Diego here.
He just posted on Instagram.
Yeah?
he just
He's
dropped
back
a
on
new track.
Instagram?
Yeah, he just dropped a new
He's
track.
hustling, bro. Hustling.
Good. Hope you doing well, brother. If you're ever in town,
Hit us up.
Voncast show.
I'm thinking of going to San Diego soon, so I might hit you up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see all of San Diego.
San Diego's dope. There's San Diego and Dago.
I've been for like
Diego or night. I want to go to Gaslight District. Yeah, it's been.
Hey, I want to go for the carne asada fries, bro.
we gotta take a trip soon.
We're in Los Angeles. You got carne asada
No. Their carne asada fries and California burritos are a lot better.
I've actually heard about that. Yeah, they're also close to
you are.
Mexico.
Yeah, the closer you are.
Bro, it's more authentic. Yeah.
I mean, it's like going to San Francisco for tacos. Like that's not.
With that logic, though, we gotta go to Texas.
I mean,
Texas?
Tex-Mex don't count, bro.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, Tex-Mex don't count.
That's something.
Yeah,
They're close too.
I mean,
it's like Americanized tacos
Oh,
versus like real ass like Mexican.
Never mind.
if you go to Van Nuys and fucking Victory,
Like
at
they'll
2
do
in
the
morning,
sour cream. It's good.
Yeah, I've just never been to Texas.
But I mean, I like
I want to go too. It's nice. It's nice.
When the camera goes off, he's gonna give us a reason. I don't know why he wants to go to Texas. He was like,
There's it's a crowd here. Austin is great. It's very like a hip movement, you know. But
So we went to a Gambino concert
Yeah,
in
was
like
it?
December.
oh yeah.
Everybody, I was not happy about it. But we were walking and he had a beanie on. Everybody was like, "Oh shit, Gambino!"
Yeah, they kept hitting me up saying,
This
Donald
is
Glover. Yeah.
I don't see it.
Bro.
Yes.
I mean, I
He's gotta get the outfit on. He's gotta get that little like.
Multiple people stopped us.
Yeah.
I guess, but like, I can tell. The
I forgot
difference.
about that actually. Thanks for bringing up
I can tell the difference. I mean, dying day. What? You don't like Gambino.
Yeah.
Shout out Gambino for a dope concert.
Hey, shout out my homegirl for getting me that floor seat. Real one. Real one. I was with them for a bit, and then I was like,
Yeah, we were hella high
down. I'm gonna go down.
I saw Drake too, like maybe like 2 months or like a month before that. Drake is cool, obviously, like he's lit, but
Was this most
2 to 3
recent one?
hours of Drake music, I was over it. Like the last 15
3
minutes.
hours?
I don't even know. It was just the last 15 minutes. I'm like, I think I'm ready to go home. This is a lot of Drake music, and I didn't listen to Drake for like 3 weeks
It's
after
the
that.
whole discography.
I love Drake. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like
No, I was like, people said it's like 2 hours, and yeah, you heard a lot of songs.
no, yeah, like it's just. I mean, it's a great show. Just personally, like I need a little bit of.
Who did he bring out that day? Because he
He
brought
brought
out someone
out
different every time.
Tyga. He brought out.
So I know when he brought out LeBron.
Tyga had a really big
I
comeback.
was a race swimmer to open up. Yeah.
Tyga had a big comeback.
No, Tyga has me impressed because
He just dropped the album.
Yeah, he did. I haven't listened to it. I don't
It's
know.
alright.
Unless I hear like a lot of good feedback, I'm not too
Yeah.
interested in it. Tyga's cool, but honestly, I thought he was just done. I thought he was like a soldier boy. Like I thought he was just done. Like he was cool and he was popping, but then like I just saw him making a comeback, and I'm like, oh cool, like a song popped off. And I mean, I feel like those things, like it's just his connections. I feel, you know what I mean? Which is really good, obviously, to have those connections in the industry, to get your shit on the radio and everybody listening to it. The music, I don't think it's bad. It's pretty. I DJ a lot of his music.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's a lot better than the older stuff. I feel.
Make It Nasty.
His old album though was
Rack
fire.
City?
I keep bringing this up.
Lime and a
Nobody
Coconut?
Listen to it.
Lime and a Coconut was fire. Lime and a Coconut.
Lime,
Last
coconut, and
Kings?
twist it all up. I twist it
No
all
one listened to
up.
Last Kings. His
I
other
did.
album.
I don't remember it. I did listen to it. I
It's
don't remember it.
fire, bro. No one believes me, but it is fire.
Maybe I think it's better because I listen to Make It Nasty now and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and like
That's
Faded, and
fire.
I'm
Rack
kind of like,
City?
oh, it's kind of
Dude,
corny.
it's not just those ones, bro. He has some heat on that. Like he's talking about some shit. I'm just like, yeah, I burned that to a CD.
So pretty much you
and I
think
have
he's
it in
the
my
greatest
car.
rapper alive.
No, I don't think it's the
No.
greatest rapper.
That's what you said the
alive.
other day.
Tiger?
That's what you said. That's not what I said.
Tiger? This motherfucker, he's a troll. He's a troll.
I am a troll. I
He's a
am.
DJ troll.
Damn. I used to call him Tigger for the
It's
longest.
fire,
I thought his name was Tigger for like
Yeah,
the first
Tigger.
year.
So did I actually.
There's a DJ Tigger like the
Really?
There's a
rap
Tig-
basement.
Yeah.
Tigger like that.
Yeah, Big Tig, yeah.
Shout out Tiger Woods.
Yo, Tigger still holds it down though. He had the
Rap,
Beast
that shit
Coast. He
bar.
had the Beast Coast on the show recently.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. That was a big thing for New York. Cause
Wait. Best album of the year so far.
Best album of the year so far? Mine.
What?
Your favorite album, maybe.
Okay, mine. I don't have an album.
Yeah, he don't make music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Let's
Say
see,
something.
favorite album of the year.
You guys can go first
What's
too.
come out so far?
I know mine.
What's
This
come out
is
so
2019, right?
Yes, 2019.
I don't even know what's come out.
It's early though.
It is early. I'm saying that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
waiting for Drake.
I mean, it's early, but we're halfway already.
I'm waiting for the November drops. That's for everyone needs to drop this shit.
Well,
November's the year.
so far.
to drop.
Oh.
I'm waiting. I'm gonna say Kendrick. He hasn't even dropped this year, but he's going to.
I was like,
and when
did
he
I miss
does,
something? I'm like, did I miss something?
when Kendrick drops, I'm gonna be like, I'm
It's
gonna be
been
like,
2
I'm
years
stand.
It's been 2 years since Damn.
Yeah,
so.
and he drops every 2 years, so he
Yeah, he does
this
drop
year.
every 2 years.
But I don't know who's even dropped this year so far.
I'll say mine since y'all don't want to say it. I think best song of the year so far, and I think a lot of people will disagree, but I think Tyler is the best song of the year so far.
Tyler?
Igor.
I hadn't listened to it.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
What did I say? People are disagreeing.
Yeah, I don't even know what else is out there in my mind right now, but I don't feel like that was the best so far.
It's crazy. Like he went another direction, bro. He literally like everybody's here. He threw a rock
Yo,
like way left side, like
Definitely
it's-
not DJ Khaled.
Oh nah, I didn't even listen to it like that.
Yeah.
I like Filthy Rich and Jim Jones. I'm a little older, so
Okay, but they dropped albums?
yeah.
Ain't nobody know that.
You know,
Ain't nobody know that.
I'm a bit older.
Yeah.
So
You know who that was fired to that Solange album?
Oh, I love that Solange album.
Did you listen to that?
You
You gotta give it a listen.
Yeah, I love that song.
see Tyler. When I think of Tyler, I think of like Yonkers Tyler.
Yeah, it's
I got-
It's
Yeah,
a way
yeah,
different
yeah.
vibe.
it's
way
different.
different vibe.
It's a whole love story.
That man
It's
is
crazy.
grown. He's
Yeah.
an adult now.
You're right. I should think of it
He's
differently.
grown up.
Yeah.
But
I don't
who has dropped this year?
There's a lot, you know. There's so many that drops.
Yeah, Injury Reserve has a dope album.
Oh, that was a good
Did
album.
you
I
ever-
like Igor better
Did
than
you
Igor
get?
Reserve's
Did you
album.
get on from Kiss of Fantano?
Who?
Dantana? Or
Fantano?
Fantano. Oh,
Yeah,
Fantano.
'cause
No,
he talks about Injury Reserve.
no, it was Quinn who put me on Matua. This guy right here.
Shout out.
That guy.
Injury Reserve. I hear good things about
That
Injury
guy,
Reserve.
that guy.
So
Have you listened to that?
no.
Yeah, you gotta listen to
I
that.
listen to Injury Reserve balls in Europe.
Who,
I see it on Spotify.
who Fantano did put me on is what's the guy that he thinks is like a 10 out of 10 every time?
Kendrick?
No. Oh, no, not Kendrick. He doesn't give him 10. So the crazy guy, Death Grips.
Yeah,
Dude, I love Death Grips.
Death Grips is
Death Grips.
crazy.
Death Grips just scares me. That's
Do you
why I
guys know
love
who JPEG Mafia is?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So JPEG Mafia, I feel like is the more listenable version of Death Grips.
I get what you're saying.
Does that make sense? Because like Death Grips is like a bunch of weird
JPEG Mafia
noises.
is
Like it
wild.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But Death Grips is like it's like an extreme of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
JPEG is like, alright, there's at least like subtitles,
Yeah.
like tempo.
The production makes
there's
sense.
there's a tempo here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't just go like.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I'm just like, yes.
And I miss JPEG. I was gonna go see him, and Injury Reserve was opening up for him, but I didn't even know Injury Reserve like that at the time.
Yeah.
But I missed that show. I had to sell up the tickets because I had to go to something else. But I wish I would have gone.
JPEG opened up for Vince Staples, I think, as well this year.
Like on tour.
yeah,
or
I think
like
it was
just
the LA
a-
show. I think it was just the LA show.
Okay.
My-
Is this in a show like Mafia?
Well, those are hard
I
to
hate
come by
you
because
hate Show Mafia? I love Show Mafia.
Like, well, I'm not hate them. I just don't.
Not your vibe. My vibe.
I mean, there's that.
It's a whole different world. It means that I'm not really the craziest fan.
I mean,
I
it's-
like Shoreline Mafia, but there's the whole thing where they're not black and they say the N word.
Yeah.
That's like the whole. That's like a whole controversy.
Mhm.
But their music's lit. I mean, I think their music's lit.
I don't even think half black people that don't look black should say
Right.
N-word.
What's your thought on Big Pun saying that shit?
Big pun.
Yeah, Fat Joe.
That's a whole different
I mean, do they
genre.
still say it to this day?
Yeah, well, Big Pun's dead.
Big pun's dead,
Rest in
yeah.
peace. But Fat Joe.
His son raps now.
Chris Rivers.
Yeah, Chris Rivers. He got
I mean,
bars.
to be honest, I think anybody who said it, I don't know. This is personal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Let's
it's a different
talk about
time
something.
before
Yeah.
the
I was just gonna say that if it was before,
Yeah.
then it's just like this topic wasn't so big, so it was
Yeah.
just kind of like you were just saying it. I'll be 100% like honest. Like I used to say it, and I grew up in South Central. Like we talked
Yeah.
about, everybody said it. It was
Mhm.
never a thought.
Yeah.
It wasn't when I came to CSUN, and it was just like, yo, you're saying the N word, and I'm like, okay, and like what, you know, like,
Yeah.
like I obviously never said it with ill intention. But it was when I got here and then like I started realizing, oh, there's a lot of history behind this word. So I made it like
Same.
I made the conscious decision not to ever say the word again
Yeah.
because I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When I was younger, I definitely said it back in the 90s, 2000s.
Right.
But then when I got more woke, I'm okay. I don't have to say that. It's not like
Right.
It's not like I don't even say it. It's just not me. For people that say it, it's like, well, you can say it if you want. There's repercussions that may come from it. So it's like I'm not one to say you can't say that, but
Yeah,
like,
I'm
you
not
shouldn't
either.
say it. But hey, that's your life. It depends what neighborhood you grew up in. If you want to say it, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
But like,
pretty
yeah.
much most of my friends from South Central who are Latino say it. Like, and it's just like at first I remember I was a little bothered by it, and then it just was like,
Yeah.
dude, it's like you live in this, like you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like
My only issues with the people that leave and don't change.
right.
So I start to recognize. You guys moved out of that area or moved into like the area
Absolutely,
that's
yeah. I
like
think it's a big
and
reason
you
why it
learn
was.
more about it. So my biggest issue is with people that have that ability to really see the other side and
Mhm.
still don't change. Because then it makes themselves look dumber. Not like in like I'm insulting you like you're dumber, but like they have no ability to change. So it's like, yeah, you're kind of,
Right.
You're kind of like you don't have the ability to
Yeah.
do that. Like, yeah,
Um,
it sucks.
Alright, but that's a whole topic.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
should-
yeah. Another topic.
Yeah.
What else? What else we talking about? So y'all live together. It's a cool place, Creative Common area.
Yeah.
We like
Don't look around like
Don't look at that side right now.
Yeah, it's cool. It's creative. You know, it is clean. Yeah, man. Like any. Let's see. Creative Commons is very cool. I like that. It's very nice. I think it's cool. There's like a creative aura here, right? Like everyone's does creative
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm sure like, you know, you have to come up with more stuff because y'all are around each other, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, ideas always flow here.
So you're a photographer, videographer, you do vlog. Not you do vlog, but you do like videos. You do videos for events,
Yeah.
right? And you're
He's
you
been
also,
he's been doing a lot of like what's the word for like setting up a room.
Production design, set
Right.
design.
Yeah.
I do that for
Wow.
music videos.
that's cool, man. Do you
Yeah.
paint stuff?
He does that for videos, but he doesn't set up anything here. He don't play.
Yeah.
He don't play pretty much.
He's not-
I don't want to do
Didn't
it
get
here.
paid.
I have to.
And you are a DJ, and you also start doing photography and video, right?
Not video, just photography.
What made you want to step out of your comfort zone, man?
So I think if I get to the very general and basic side of it, I think it's just we're all creatives, and we have, you know, you were telling me earlier about how you started getting into video and blogging, and where first off it was just rapping, right? And I think what it was for me was the big realization that we don't have to be in a box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What do you're out? All right, man.
Later. Take care.
Shout out, Alex.
Oh, that's my show.
Yeah. It was just the big realization of like, I'm in this box. It's like in high school. I said I was shy. It was also because, and that's why I didn't tell anybody, right? It was also because I was in this box of like, dude, I'm like a soccer player. Like nobody thinks of me as a DJ, right? But it's just like, it's I think getting out of my comfort zone. I think it's a lot of aspects like, you know, challenging myself to learn something new. You know, I think we constantly have to challenge ourselves. I think, like I said, we're creative, so I think we get that hunger to want to create more and more. And I think for me, it was a big thing of like, DJing is now work for me. It doesn't always feel like work, but I do a lot of it with a goal in mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna release this for people to see. I'm gonna release this to promote myself. I'm gonna do this gig because I'm gonna get paid, or it's gonna give me some type of exposure or whatever, right? So even though a lot of times it doesn't feel like work, it is work, right? And but I think with photography, and everybody I live with is a photographers, and everybody in this house is I would say is a better photographer than me. But for me, it was, I think, being able to have something that I can do creative that I have no pressure on. I can take a shitty picture and it's just like, well, that's why I'm a DJ.
Yeah.
But I can't do a shitty mix. Like, if I do a shitty mix,
Yeah.
it's like, yo, like, what the fuck's going on? Like,
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Same here. It's like, oh, you're gonna blame me for having a shitty video? Well, I just started it now. I do podcasts and I do music.
Right.
But I think it's good though. I think it's gonna step out of your boundaries. And
Right.
like I said earlier, if you're I think specifically speaking for a rapper, I feel like, I don't know how it is now, but I feel that growing up as a rapper, there's always, I just gotta be a rapper. I gotta put all my focus into rapping. I gotta be the best and everything. What that means is
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make music. I'm not trying to make videos.
Yep.
I'm not trying to maybe make beats, maybe sing, but anything else, this is my zone. I can't do anything else because that would mean I'm taking away from my craft. Absolutely. Right? So I think it's great stepping out of your comfort zone, and especially these days, man, like, it's so hard to make money off of music, unless you're doing like gigs and shows. As a rapper, it's good to step
blessed
out.
to be in a field where I can make, like, I don't have to be famous to make money, you know what I mean?
See,
yeah.
There's a thing like, would you rather be famous or wealthy? I think a lot of people these days are so into the social media, this 15-minute spotlight. And that's great, I get it, but like, it's so fleeting.
Absolutely.
And like, man, would you rather get like 1 million likes on Instagram, or you want to get like $1,000? Like, because you don't always get both, you know?
Yeah. So. Yeah. We're definitely recording, right?
Yeah.
Because I love this conversation.
Yeah, no.
And
yeah.
I would hate for it not to be recorded.
Oh, we're an hour and 3 in.
Okay.
Okay, so while in college.
You know what? Last thing with that, we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
This is something that I learned from the homie Matt, who was my old manager, right, at TD. So I remember one time I was telling him, like, man, I want to grow this and this, but who do I talk to who can help me, help me, right? And I was like, yo, like, step back. Like, don't think about how they can help you, think of how you can help them. How can you bring them value, right?
Yeah.
And we talked about it earlier of how important it is to bring people value, right? Or else why would they have you around? Even if it's as something as simple as Alex coming here and talking to us and having a good conversation with us and having us laugh.
Yeah.
That's valuable. That's extremely valuable to me. I love laughing. You know what I mean? So, but, you know, I think my mind shifted when he told me that, because I was like, you're right. How can I bring people value? And that's also one of the reasons I picked up the camera, because it was like, as a DJ, if you're not having an event, you don't need me.
Yeah.
But I can show up anywhere I want with this little camera that I bought. Not little, but like, you know, but it's very little in comparison to my DJ equipment, right? I could just grab it, put it in my car, and let's go, right? So, but I can show up with that anywhere and be like, hey, let's take a picture, and I have fun doing it, right? And it creates that conversation, it brings that value. I can then send people nice pictures of themselves. So, finding ways to bring people value in ways that like fit your core values. And
man.
I think it's cool. But go ahead.
For me, rapping, it's, as much as I want to say, it's for people. A lot of it's egotistical. A lot of it's like self. Like, I gotta rap. I gotta spit these bars. I can only bring you value to the point of you listening to the music. But let's say you don't listen to rap, or we're not in the studio. How can I bring you value? I'm a rapper, great. What's I gonna do for my show? I don't like rap. Podcasting, on the other hand, is talk about what you do.
Yep.
And put on a streaming platform for everyone to listen to what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So that's giving value. Same with videos. Hey, like I pull up at a tattoo shop or barber shop that I've been going to. Hey, you want to get some content? I'll shoot some content for you guys. You don't have it. It seems like. So that way you're giving value, and I think that's a big thing. You always like want to take. You always, hey, check out my shit. Check out my shit. Check out my shit.
Oh yeah, never.
But what about what can I do with my platform to get your shit recognized?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying about internships. You said your former manager in TDE. Talk to us about like your experience in TDE.
I mean, if I take a restroom break before we get into
Go for it. It's fine.
It's gonna be a long
Go for
story.
it, bro. And chill.
Water? You need anything?
Huh?
Want water?
I'm good, then. Thank you. All right. Interlude. So my name is Voncast Show. If you're not aware already, I host a podcast such as this one. I've been doing it for about, let's say, 69, 70, 71 episodes. If you're liking it so far, give us a follow on YouTube. Check me out on Instagram. Von Eisen is my music page. The Voncast Show is also my podcast page, along with some media. I started dabbling in media. Hit me up. Get some stickers. Want to thank Oscar for this podcast interview. The boys at this lovely apartment that I'm filming at. Put all the Instagrams on it right now. Shout out 57 Collective, J57. Shouts out One Truth Tattoo. Shouts out Salad Group and Wholesome Doggo News. So, yeah, check it out. Yeah, we're about to get back into it. Intermission break. So, we were talking about before, asking about TDE.
Top Dog Entertainment.
Yeah, Top Dog Entertainment.
Shout out.
How did you get into that? Yeah, shout out.
Man, it was like a week-long journey. It was weird. So I had deleted my Twitter because I just felt like it was negative, and I would go on it and I would get in a bad mood. If you're in a bad mood, don't go on social media. Turn off your notifications, delete the app for like a day or two. Social media is not the escape. Like, it makes everything worse. It's a tool, but it's people put their best self up there, right? Mm-hmm. They don't put all the bullshit they go through. We all go through that stuff. Yeah. So it's very bad for our brains when we're feeling very low and we're going through things and we're not feeling like our best selves, to go and just see the best of everybody. Right. And something that's not necessarily reality, so side note. But I had deleted my Twitter for that reason, and I was off Instagram, and then my brother was like, yo, check out this tweet from TDE. They're looking for interns. I'm like, oh, damn, dope. Like, I just deleted my Twitter yesterday. Yeah. I wouldn't have seen this, right? So I was like, all right. And I was just gonna like email them like my resume. And I'm like, you know what? If I actually get this, like, this could be big, like this is obviously like a very respected company within hip hop. So I was just like, I started using my tools. I went to CSUN, and like for 2 days straight, like I'm talking about, I was there for 12 hours, no food, went home, ate, slept, woke up, was there again the next day, 8 a.m. to like, I don't know, 7, late, like honestly like 9 p.m. Like I spent a lot of time there at the career center at CSUN, and they were helping me with my resume and helping me perfect it. And my friend at the time was like, she was helping me with like how to word things and whatever. She was showing me hers, and then pretty much I perfected it. Like, I was so crazy about, should I put like the or it or whatever, right? Like I was so crazy about it, and all they asked for, I think, was just like, just a resume is all they asked for. But thanks to like, obviously like CSUN, I knew at that point what a cover letter was. Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna do a cover letter, right? Kind of go that extra step. So I did like a really beautiful cover letter explaining who I was, why I value their company, why I think I would be an asset to them. And I remember like, so I worked on it for like 2 days straight, like literally like no, like it was like, I was so obsessed with it. And then woke up the next day, cause it's a good thing to send emails early in the morning, right? Like if you send something like 3 p.m., people are already like focused on other things and whatever. So I wake up, I set an alarm and I wake up like at 5:30 or 6 a.m. and I send the email like at 6:30, right? And mind, I had worked on it because then I went home from those 2 days and I went home and I worked on it for like another 4 hours until like 4 a.m. And then I took like a 2-hour nap, woke up, and then sent it to them, right? And made it look all nice and whatever. So I didn't hear from them for a few days, and I remember this time I was doing some stuff with the hip hop club, and my boy Abdullah, shout out Abdullah.
Is he back this time?
No, he graduated and he lives here.
What?
Yeah.
God damn, we gotta hit some hookah.
Yeah, he's working on like his career now.
Oh,
I just spoke to him like 3 weeks ago. We had a phone call.
What?
Yeah, super. I love that guy, man. Super, just good energy and just a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that day he went to get something for my car, and like I think he moved it or something, or like I don't know what he did. Like he wanted. I was like, we're selling pizza for the club, like fundraising.
Hey, Costco.
Yeah, Costco. So then like, I'm like, can you go on a Costco run? He's like, I got you. And we went on a Costco run, bought pizza, came back, and parked it in a spot that was only like at 3 p.m. that I was only until like 4 p.m. right there on Nordhoff, right?
Uh-huh.
Point is, we sell pizza until like 5 p.m. We walk to my car. At this point, like, there's no cars there because it's right, and like my car was towed.
Oh.
And I'm just like, where's my car at? And at first we're just walking, right? I'm just walking with like him and our homegirls there, and we're just walking, not really thinking. I wasn't thinking of anything, and I just see him like, I start looking back and forth, and like start freaking out as we're walking, but he wasn't telling me anything. I'm like, what's this guy doing? Like, why is he freaking out? And then he like keeps looking at me, right? And I'm like, yo, what's going on? And he was like, your car's not here, bro. And I'm like, oh snap, like where'd you park it? Yeah, I parked it right here. And I was like, oh shit. So I called the company, or like whatever the thing is, you guys have my car? They're like, yup, we have it right here. I'm like, damn, alright. So I go, and at this point I had an interview. That was a whole other thing. So hold up. So yeah, there's a whole car touring. Let me take a step back. There was an interview. Most freaking anxiety I've had ever, bro. Like, I prepped for that interview a lot. And it was weird because when I sent in that resume, I knew I was going to get an interview. Like, I started calling like a lot of alumni from CSUN and from like USC, who I was connected through because of my fraternity. And I was like, I need to learn how to be I had never had an interview before that. Wow. So I'm like, every job I had was because I knew somebody who knew what type of person I was. So then they hooked me up, right? That was the first interview I had. So then so I literally like went to 2 people's houses and I got on a phone call with people like older than me, like I'm talking like 40, 50 years old, like people who have their own businesses and everything. By the way, mentors are essential if you want to succeed. Trust me, they've been through it, when they were grinding it out in their young years, it was the same sun shining on their back that's up right now. Like it's not, I know times change, but listen to those mentors because they will help make things a lot easier for you. So anyways, I went to them and they were like telling me like, you got to do this and use this method and show up like this, show up 30 minutes early, like literally just coaching me. And then I get the email, hey, we want to interview you, right? And I don't know what it was. I just knew I was going to get the interview. I don't know I was going to get the internship, but I knew I was going to get the interview. And then, so then it's a day of the interview. I'm like, I had some stuff to do at CSUN, whatever, and I go to my boy Drew's house because at this time I was commuting from LA, and I go to my boy Drew's house to change and get ready, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna get this thing, and he's just like, if y'all know Andrew Carrasco, like he is like if you want to get motivated, talk to that guy. He's just like on top of his shit, and just one of my best friends. And then he's just like, oh, all right. He's like, I have class right now, but I wish I would go with you. And I'm like, it's all good, bro. It's all good. He's like, I'm skipping class. And I think he had like a quiz that day or something. He's like, I'm skipping class. I'm going with you. This is important. And I was like, all right, like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. I was like, all right. So we got in my car. We head over. The whole way there, he's like interviewing me, right? Like doing a mock interview. Like, yo, like, so what jobs have you had? Like, what this? And I would say certain things like, and I would say things like, you know, filler words like, and you know. And he's like, don't say that. Don't say Like, I'm just like, all right, I won't say you know, just hyping me up in the car. Like, he's like, you got this, you know. So we get there and like. He knew I was like a little nervous, so we even went on a little walk and whatever. And I texted, hey, I'm outside. So then like, whatever, right? So I go up and I do the interview, and it's super short, right? It's super short, and then I'm just like, I think at this point he had already done a lot of interviews, so he was just over it, right? So I was just like, look, man, I'll be honest. I thought that's a lot shorter than I thought it would be. I'm gonna tell you, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I was just like super like upfront and almost like aggressive with the way I came off. Like, and I was like, I am the right person for this. I am a hard worker. I have ethics. Like, I this, I that. Like, believe me, I am the right person. And he was just like, and he just like sat back and like laughed. And then he was just like, you remind me a lot of myself, right? And from that point on, it wasn't even an interview anymore. We just had a dope conversation, and right. So then like, so that happened. And like I said, it's funny. Like I said, it's funny the way things work and like at the timing that things happen, because a week before that we had a mixer for the hip hop club, and my boy Manny came through. Manny Vergara, remember him?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So then he came through, and we were talking, and I'm like, bro, guess what? Like, this is. He was a big. He's like the biggest TD stan I know.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, huge TD stan at every event, like everything, and I'm just like, guess what, bro? I have an interview with like TD, and he was like, oh, no way. I just started an internship with them last week. And I'm like, what, really? And he's like, yeah, with this guy called Matt. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, merch. I'm like, that's what I'm interviewing for. Like, how do you get it? He's like, they just called me, because like they knew who he was. They called him like, I forget what they called him, but they called him something like Pink Sweater or Pink Sweater Boy, because he had this really old pink sweater that said TDE that everybody had signed. Top, like Absol, Kendrick, J-Rock, like everybody had signed it, you know, Schoolboy, Isaiah. And so he would show up every time with that pink hoodie, and they just knew him, like, oh, it's that pink hoodie guy. And he would even be able to cut in line sometimes, because he just knew them. So when that came up, like, I guess he just slid in the DMs, like somebody's DMs, and they were like, oh yeah, like, of course, you know. So then like they just brought him in. So then the interview's almost like done, and he was just, I'll walk you out or whatever, you know. So he's walking me out, and I'm like, hey, do you know Manny? You know, and like at this point I had pretty much killed the interview, I had killed the resume, I had put like my all into it, right? And I'm just like, Manny, he's like, Manny, I'm like, I believe he just started interning with you guys, right? And I made it like very casual, but I knew what I was doing, right? I was like trying to bring up that I knew somebody, and I was just like, he's just like, what's his last name? I didn't know his last name. I was like, so I go on my phone, I'm like, Manny Vergara. He's like, you know Manny? And I'm like, yeah, like he's my boy. Like, I even showed him a picture of us together. Like, look, this was last week when I had that event that I was telling you about that I host and so on. And then he was just like, oh, like, man, that's crazy. So I feel like everything combined, and then seeing that I'm like a hustler and that I really wanted this and blah blah, and that knowing somebody in there was, and then like he asked Manny like the next day, hey, do you know this guy Oscar? And then Manny was like, oh yeah, he's a hustler, this, that, whatever, right? So then like that was like the cherry on top, right? You know what I mean? On top of everything, and like your network's extremely important, and the people you know are gonna get you where you want to get to. Obviously, as long as that work ethic is back there and like there's actual context to everything, right? Nobody's just gonna get you somewhere. Like, you're gonna get yourself somewhere, but there might be the person to open that door for you, right? So he was like the little icing on top, and I go in there, and so I was part of the merch team for like 2 years. Met some amazing people. Matt Gant, shout out to Matt. I was gonna wear your shirt today, but I kind of messed it up. I ripped it a little bit, so I was just like, whatever, I'll wear this. He has his own brand called Under Construction, super dope. Y'all should check him out. I met his girlfriend Lily, just good vibes. Manny was there for a little bit. I met one of my closest friends now. Her name is Marisol, and she's super talented. She does a lot of, she's a stylist, so she's actually a contractor right now under people like Nike, and she does what's the name of that really expensive store at the malls?
Which ones?
It's not like.
Is it what kind of apparel is it?
It's just like
Macy's?
It's like a Macy's type of apparel, but like really expensive, like $300 pants, and they're huge. And then they have like the rack. Nordstrom. So then she does Nordstrom, I believe, and if I'm not mistaken. And then like she just does a lot of artists. Like she did Kehlani for a while. She did Kyle, Super Duper Kyle.
Yeah.
So she's done him and his crew, and I mean, I don't know, seeing how like committed she has been, her art has absolutely influenced me and inspired me to be that much committed about my art. And like, I think she's just the type of person who just put the bullshit aside, just put the bullshit aside and was like, this is it, this is what I'm gonna focus on, she's like I don't know if this is the right word, but she's like a spiritual person, where like she believes in like manifesting a lot and stuff like that. So that's, I think, super like dope, something that I try to like do in my life. I feel like I could do it a lot better, but I try to do it every now and then. So I met them and I was just part of the merch team. So pretty much, if you got any merch from TDE, anything from Kendrick Lamar, anything from Schoolboy Q, if you got any merch, like probably a year, if you got it like between like a year from now, then it probably wasn't me. But like before a year ago, I'm pretty like, I was 99% like sure like I was the one sending that out to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I see people at CSUN with their TDE hoodies, and I'm literally like, or like with their Kendrick Lamar hoodie or shirt or whatever, and I'm like, I literally packaged that for you and sent that
awesome.
to you. And like, it was, I never said it because it wasn't a thing of like I felt like, oh yeah, like I did this. It was just like, it's just crazy to me that I'm the one who put that in a bag and sent it out to them. You know what I mean? Like I would never think I'd be in a position to do something like that, especially for people such as Kendrick and Schoolboy and Isaiah Rashad, one of my top artists. You know what I mean? We did a lot of the cool stuff. We did was we would sell at the shows sometimes. Like we sold a lot over at the observatory in Santa Ana. Okay. So then, and it was cool. Nice. It was a really good journey. I learned a lot. I learned the good and the bad, I think. Almost like just life lessons, the good of like how important it is to know people, how important it is to like hustle and so on. And I think the bad too of like, this shit ain't easy, because I think I went in with a mindset of like, man, TDE, I'm an intern. 6 months from now, I'm gonna have this position and then this position and then this position. And it didn't play out like that. I was an intern for a while. And even though I think it would get frustrating at times because I wanted to grow, it's only once I did leave the company, and I still talk to those people and whatnot because they're just great people. But I think once I did leave the company, I was just like, it was really hard for me to leave that company. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to leave TDE. Like once you're in, like you're in type of thing, or not once you're in, but like it took me that much effort to get in. And obviously like there were 300 applicants. Wow. and it was only 3 that got accepted out of that.
Damn, that's
you
awesome.
know what I mean? Yeah, and I was one of the 3. So it's like, for me to hustle that much and then just leave, I was like, nah, like this isn't, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it was just so hard for me to make that decision. But I think if you're ever at a point in your life where you feel like stuck at a company, you're stuck with your daily routine and all that, I think it's just okay to know that you were okay before that and that you will be okay after that. Like if you leave it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I didn't think I was gonna be okay. I was like, who am I? What am I gonna be without TDE? Like I thought I was gonna be nothing without TDE. Yeah. You know what I mean? But once I made that decision to leave and take control of my life, mm-hmm. It was like, yeah, like I'm more than TDE. And a big part of it was like, this could have never even happened. If I wouldn't have gotten that internship, like I would have still been hustling on my end, you know what I mean? And I'm blessed to have had that opportunity. And and to have learned from it, and it's just really dope. And I think seeing how people think in there and seeing like just how a company like that runs, and I worked like where I worked was very close to where like Top would actually like be at a lot of times. So just to I think be in his presence and just have little conversations with him here and there, like was just really really crazy to be on that kind of same wavelength as like somebody like that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you went from with like a DJ, you went from doing gigs at like high school parties and Mark Echo.
Yeah.
How did you get into these bigger events? You did mixers,
I don't
parties.
know.
How did you? One minute I remember you were doing parties, like for friends or weekend stuff at parties. How did you end up doing that to gigs at bigger events? I mean, I see your Instagram and I see you performing at clubs.
Right.
How did you get there?
It's been a long journey.
Yeah.
So I would DJ a lot of the house parties and a lot of the private events, like you would say. If it was my fraternity brothers, I wouldn't charge them. Obviously, like they're just my very very close friends,
Of course.
who have my back and whatnot. So I would just do that. If it was other fraternities or just other college students, charging maybe a little bit. Like we don't have to talk about my prices, but charge them like a lot less than like for a house party, a lot less than what I would usually charge, especially for something like a wedding and a Sweet 16, which obviously takes a lot more work and a lot more professionalism, and you have to have like a much larger range in terms of your music selection and like it could flip. Like people could like if we go into Latin, right? People could be from Mexico. Like Latin isn't just one thing. It's crazy. Like even people from Mexico, like there's different like. And I'm not Mexican, so this is like a big thing, a tough thing for me when I would do like the quinceañeras or like the Mexican weddings. It's like there's different regions in Mexico, right? And each one of them listens to different type of Mexican music. And I was like, what? Y'all just got like one Mexican genre, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was pretty good with like the salvi parties because obviously I grew up with that music from my parents and whatnot. And then like with the English weddings, that wasn't too bad, I mean, I just enjoyed looking for all that music and whatnot, but. So that was that, and I was just very comfortable with my own equipment, with which if you're a DJ, right, my go-to is Techniques. I've had a Rain 62 for a while, but I'm pretty over it. I like the S9 and I also like the 72, which obviously are like the big standard right now, but those are I like the S9 a lot, right? And then I was using a controller for a while. I still use it. It's literally that box you see right there. So the SX2, I started using that, and it was crazy because I started on turntables, like we mentioned earlier, and for the longest time I was like a controller, like which is like, how do I say
Serato?
this? Well, no, I was using Serato because you can use turntables with Serato, but it was pretty much like for me to think of using something aside from a turntable, which is like that's why I don't know how to say this. Like, so it's a controller or a CDJ, right? So it's like the digital stuff, right? That you don't put an actual like vinyl on or like what's called a control vinyl, which you don't even know about all that. But like I was like, why would I ever do that? Like that's fake. That's fake DJing. Like, and I kind of had that old mindset, but I think it's because like I don't have DJ friends my age.
Yeah.
All my DJ friends were my dad's friends, right? So that's why I had that mentality of like vinyl, right? But I'm really happy I had that beginning. And but then it got to a point where my dad and I would get booked, and I would like, and we'd be like, well, we have 2 mixers, so let's take 1 turntable each, and it would just be really tough. So we'd like, all right, let's get a controller because we can't afford a whole another set of turntables right now. So then we got a controller, and I started really liking it. So then I got good at it pretty quickly, and I liked it. It's just simple. It's like instead of paying a bunch of like turntables, you carry one thing and it's got everything there for you, right? So when I went to the club, I was only used to that stuff, and they put me on CDJs, right, which is like a turntable but like digital, right? They put me on CDJs and this mixer called Pioneer 900 Nexus, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, I don't know, right? It was at Club Ohm. That was my first club gig about 2 years ago, and I didn't even know how to connect. I forgot my headphones. Like I was a mess. You know, I was nervous. Like I wasn't playing the right music, whatever. To me, it was a shit show. Yeah. I think to people that went, it's all good.
Yeah.
To people that went, it wasn't right. But you know, I think I'm like the hardest critic on myself. But the funny thing was, and I was with Josh that day. Josh went with me that day. Right. It was my first club gig. I'm like, bro, we gotta record this, blah blah blah. All right, whatever. So I get with my promoter, right? DJ Swift. Shout out DJ Swift. He's the fucking guy out here hustling. Like, if you want to go to a dope party, just let me know. Like, Swift is the guy. So then we're with him, and I remember we're like walking to like the main stage, right? And I'm like, all right, I'm ready. And like Josh is behind me with his camera. Like, shout out Joshua Valles as well. It's fucking dope as like videos and everything. And we're walking to the main stage. Next, he like says hi to somebody, and then we like turn the other way, and I'm like, where are we going? And then Josh was like, where are we going, right? He takes me to the side room. Not one person was in there. I think there was maybe a bartender there, maybe, but not, aside from that, like nobody was there. And I get there and I'm like, all right, well, like start plugging in. And then Josh is like, oh shit. He's like, there's nobody here. Like, right. And then like, so for clubs, the way the game is now, like as a DJ, a lot of times you're expected to sell tickets or like promote the event or create some type of guest list, right? So I had brought out like 15 friends, right? And he's like, should I go get people? I'm like, yeah. So he starts going to the other end and he tells all of our friends, yo, like Mars is over there. So everybody starts going to the other side, and then he starts telling everybody else, like just random people, like, yo, fuck this DJ. Like, there's a better DJ over there. There's a better DJ over there. And I didn't see that, but he told me about it, and like apparently people were like, who the fuck are you? But he managed to bring like another 7 people over, right? Mm-hmm. So we had a little party of like 20, 22 people, and I played some music, and it was cool, whatever, but I was so nervous, like, I didn't even connect properly. Like, I had no control over the CDJs. I had control over the mixer and my laptop, and I didn't have headphones, and it was just like, I left, and I was like, well, I mean, that was that. I'm happy I did it, but it was like not what I wanted it to be. So I kept working, and just constantly trying to get gigs. And I did a lot of opening up. And I still open up, you know, like I did a lot of opening up where an event would be 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. And you know, the way clubs work is like they rotate DJs. They'll have like 4 to 5 DJs a night. And I would do the 9 to 10 p.m. slot or 10 to 11 slot when people are barely coming in. Mm-hmm. Like there's been multiple times where I start spinning, nobody's there. I'm like, all right, well, this is for the bartenders, right? And the security starts spinning, which are important too. Like it's important to create that good like relationship with everybody. So I start spinning, all right, well, nobody's here, you know, and it's called warming up the room, right? Like then slowly people start coming in, and you're pretty much just warming up the room. You know what I mean? And playing like, whether it's like throwbacks or like newer music, but that isn't like the newest, like hypest like music. So I did that for like 2 years, you know, and then like slowly, like, you know, these promoters started trusting me a little more and started like being like, all right, like you could, and then I started actually learning how to use that different equipment a lot better than I did 2 years ago. I started knowing exactly what to bring. I started figuring out my style, because a club set is completely different from a house party. Right. Completely different. Like, I can even explain how different it is. Like, no, well, I can. Maybe I'm just exaggerating, but it's just so different because one, there's like, so when you do a party or an event, there's like this build, right? It's like there's this build like this. This is warming up the party. There's like, let's say 10% of the people there, 30% of the people there, boom, boom, boom. Maybe then you get to about here, which is like the highest moment of the night, called prime time, right? In LA, that prime time is usually like 12 to 1, right? In other places, New York or Miami or wherever, like places close at 5. Here, places close at 2. All those other places close at 5 a.m. So DJs actually have a harder job, right? And then like 12 over there, it's still like you're still warming up the crowd. Here, like the crowd is ready to go. They've only got an hour and a half or so left. You know what I mean? Versus over there, 12 midnight, you literally still have 5 hours left, right?
Yeah.
So then like the prime time over there is more like 2 to 3 a.m. type of thing. It's really crazy, but it's different because right there's this build, right, and for one you're only maybe DJing like the opening, or you're only DJing the private time, or you're closing it off, trying to like kind of wind people down so people get ready to leave, right? And people aren't like at their highest energy, and it's like, all right, go home, and they're like, you know, and it's just a bunch of drunk people, and it's like what? And it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just different because, for one, college students are ready to party.
Right.
Ready to party. I play whatever, and people go crazy. I can play whatever I want. You know what I mean? Another, like, I know a bunch of people at the party. You know, or like a lot of times I would know a lot of people at the party. You know what I mean? At the same time, I play the whole night. Maybe sometimes I switch off with another DJ or whatever, like throughout the night. But for the most time, I play the whole night. This right here, you have to get there early to make sure that the DJ before you isn't like playing the tracks that you had planned on playing. Right? Because nobody wants to hear like Tatiana and then later, 20 minutes later, hear Tatiana again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe like a 2 to 3 hour gap is fine or whatever. Like, but nobody wants to hear the same music, and like that's one of the big things is like you can't repeat music, right? So that's one of the big things. Like another one is like, it's called burning the next DJ, right? Have you ever heard of that? Burning the next DJ. So that's like a big thing, right? Where it's like, I don't know, maybe it falls under politics, right? But it's like pretty much like if you're doing 11 to 12, you can't play Tatiana. Like people will get pissed at you. The crowd will love it. Right. And if you're that DJ, you probably want to play Tatiana, and I'm using Tatiana as like a reference track, as meaning like the highest energy song, right? That there is out right now, or even like stuff like Act Up, City Girls. You know that song?
No. I heard City Girls.
Right, so it's like City Girls' like biggest song right now. You play that, the crowd goes crazy. But you play that at the wrong time in the club, you might not get booked again. And it's that serious, right? And that's why I say it's kind of like politics, right? Because then like if you do that like at 11:20, the crowd, like I said, it's gonna take the crowd from here to here really fast. But then it's like there's only like so high that like a crowd can go. You know what I mean? This also isn't like a rave. It's not Coachella. Like it's where every DJ, like everybody that gets on gives their most, right? And people are there to see you. People are there just to have a night out with their friends or whatever, right? So you have to be careful with that. It's a lot more fast paced because, like I said, college students are ready to party. They're ready to, and it's like very specific what they like to hear. You know what I mean? This crowd, you can play the same set and some might not enjoy it. You know what I mean? You have a lot of different ages, right? And if it's an 18 plus club, I'm gonna play a certain type of music. If it's a 21 plus club, I'm gonna play a different type of music. If this club is in Koreatown, I'm gonna play a different type of music. If this club is like it could be a Latin night, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna play reggaeton. If it could be like a R&B night, I'm gonna play R&B, you know, 2000s, 90s. Like it's very like there's a lot of themed parties. Like age matters. Like you have to get on the mic more. Like people aren't ready to party like college students are ready to party. Not everybody there is going to get shit faced like college students are, right? True. Which is, I think, for anybody trying to DJ, I think college is a perfect place to start. You know, playing in front of people. But just know that like the club scene is a whole other thing you got to deal with, right? So, but anyways, so I kept opening up, and then eventually they started trusting me more, and I've been like, they've been kind of pushing me up towards prime time more, and like just, it's really cool. I mean, just to be in front and like, to see me like go from like opening up 2 years ago, not even know how to opening up, like it was so hard for me to bring people out, bring my friends out, because nobody like, actually, I feel like nobody actually took me serious, you know what I mean? Right. So for me to be like, hey, come, like I'm playing this club, people would be like, what? And also my friends weren't even 21 at that time, right? And then like a lot of my friends were like 19 or so they're, for one, like, what, I gotta pay $20? Nah, I'm gonna stay at this kickback, right? So it was just a little harder for me. But obviously now I'm 23 and a lot of my friends are like down to like get bottle service or just they like clubs, you know what I mean? They're like the whole college scene is kind of like for us like done now, you know what I
A
mean?
little over.
Right. So then like you're probably your first thing to do on a Friday night, I'm sure is not like a house party, right? And even if it might not be the club or a bar, that's probably comes before the college house party,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like I know that you're not necessarily the person who goes to a bar every weekend,
Yeah.
but that's probably comes before that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, man, just pretty much just keeping pushing, like just trying to. I think I'm just trying to utilize everything I've learned in school
Good.
in a real live environment, right? Because I learned a lot about how to talk to people. I learned a lot about like how to manage your time, how to whatever, right? But like for one, like keeping those relationships with people, because at the end of the day, like it's like I mentioned earlier, your network, like nobody wants to do business with somebody they don't trust.
Exactly.
You know,
You
people
can be
want to.
talented, but
Yeah.
don't be
Yeah,
shit, dude.
yeah, you're a shitty person. Who wants to hire you?
Exactly.
And I actually love that, right? Because I remember before I used to be like, man, this is all about the network. Like, I don't know anybody. I was nobody. You know what I mean? I mean, I still feel like
Right.
I'm not necessarily somebody yet, but you know, like there's still a long way for me to go. But before it was just I just didn't know how to network. Like it was just like I hated it. Like I wish it would, because I would see myself and I knew I was better than a lot of these DJs.
Yeah.
But it was just like if it's all about the network, then that sucks because they're hiring shitty DJs. And it's like no, they're not hiring shitty DJs. They're just it almost like bleeds out the shitty people. You know what I mean? Because the more and more you work, there's still some shitty people. There's still shitty people, of course, within it. But you bleed out the people who are not serious, who legit are just shitty people, and then you start just kind of zoning into the people who are actually there to work and to get this done. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool, and trying to keep just trying to be of value to anybody.
Like that.
Yeah.
One last question. What advice do you have for anyone trying to be in the entrepreneur game or just wants to be a DJ? Because like we said earlier, it seems as anybody can be a DJ, right? Like people say, oh, all you do is press a button, right? And you get paid a bunch of money. What advice do you have for DJs these days? Hey, I want to be a DJ, but where do I start?
Throw yourself out there.
Throw yourself out there.
Right? Like, so I work at the Scratch DJ Academy,
Okay, all
right?
right.
So it's a DJ school,
Yeah.
right? And I teach people how to DJ, and I also deal with some of the like admin stuff. So I'll get on phone calls, I'll do sales, like I'll make sure all the schedules are running well. And I kind of feel, or not just, I kind of know that like I think what I'm about to say is a little bit against their method or our method because I work with them. But for me, I didn't go to a DJ school. For me, it was like throw yourself out there. If you don't do a great, like 2 years ago, I wasn't ready for a club gig 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when you start doing those things that you're like, I'm not ready for this, I think is when you know you're doing the right thing. Because if you're not getting out of your comfort zone, then you're not pushing it. If everything you do, you're like, I'm 100% ready for this, that means you got to push more, because you're pretty much just staying in your bubble of like what you think is, I don't know, like what you're saying in your bubble of what you think is comfortable for you, of like, right, rather than like pushing your limits. And yeah, of course you're gonna fall sometimes. Of course you're gonna do a gig that's not perfect and whatever. But like you're only gonna learn from that. Obviously, practice. I'm not saying go out and do a gig tomorrow, but I see students come through the school and they're like, all right, I can't do a gig until I'm perfect. I'm not perfect at all. I'm not the best DJ ever. I'm not. I think I'm a skilled DJ and I can get the job done. But I do gigs that I still get nervous for these days. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, shit, I'm gonna be in front of that many people or whatever. And but it's like, yes, like learn the technical stuff. At a certain point, you just gotta throw yourself out there. And the reason I said about the school is like, take a little bit of time, and I'm kind of like, nah, just go and do that gig, just do it, you know what I mean? And I did that with some of my students, and I remember one of the guys was like, hey man, you gotta chill, like, they're still learning, and I'm just like, yeah, but like, I didn't know shit when I got out there when I was 15, or like, 16, 17, right? And whatever, but like, you know, maybe there's a balance, but throw yourself out there. Don't be afraid to get in front of that crowd. Don't be afraid to like make mistakes. You know, meet people, network, work with other DJs that you look up to. And I think look up to can be a very broad term.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying work with DJs that you look up to. Go work with Diplo.
Yeah,
Go work with Dead Mouse.
yeah.
Go work with like whatever big DJ you like, right? Work with people you look up to around you, right? People who are getting more gigs than you. If you're getting 1 gig a month, go work with the person getting 3 gigs a month. You know what I mean? See what they do. See how they do stuff differently. Why they're getting booked 3 times more than you, right? Like, and you don't have to like look up to them like, oh, the freaking like God or whatever. But you know, like I think being humble enough to like take a step back and be like, I'm willing to ask for advice. You know what I mean?
It's big.
Right. But yeah, that's about it, man.
Any shout outs before we head up?
Shout outs. Shout out my mom. I'm on TV now. Nah, just kidding, I'm on YouTube. Shout out my dad. Shout out Rocky. So my little brother just got a puppy called Rocky. Shout out my sister. Shout out all my roommates. Shout out Vaughn for doing this because it's crazy, right? Like to see him interviewing all of us, and it's just like, yo, we came from like nothing, you know what I mean? And now it's like, yo, we're actually all hustling, like actually trying to make something out of this, you know?
Very true.
Shout out the little bro Jeremiah. Shout out Drew, Jamal. Shout out Omar. Shout out Toolbox for allowing us to bring our DJs in there. Shout out Scratch Academy.
Yeah.
Shout out Hoppa for allowing me to be at the Scratch Academy. And
DJ Hoppa?
DJ Hoppa.
Wow.
You know DJ Hoppa?
Yeah, man.
That's my mentor right there, bro.
No shit.
That's
DJ Hoppa and like Hobson and like not Hobson, but like he works with Jared Benton and stuff.
I'm not sure, but
DJ Hoppa. I know DJ Hoppa.
HAPA, right? Or HOPPA?
OPPA.
Okay, damn, that's another guy.
Okay, yeah.
That's another guy.
Alright. That's dope though, man.
Yeah, so Hoppa is the one who like has led the Scratch Academy for a while now.
Oh.
Shout out to him a lot. Shout out Fortify for believing in me. I think just shout out to all my friends, all of anybody who's ever come out to a gig. Like shout out, because you did not have to come to my club. You did not have to come to like the bar I was spinning at. You could have gone anywhere else. Like. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to my boy Edwin, who's out in Oregon right now getting his fucking degree. Props to him. Shout out to Mie. Shout out to everybody who helped us out at Speaker Box. Yeah, and just everybody around me. Yo, I'm blessed to have everyone.